Hi friends, welcome to another RedditRev episode. Please subscribe and hit that like button if you're enjoying the content, and please share it with your friends if you can. I'd really appreciate it. Also, please leave me a comment to let me know what you think of the episode. Now let's get started with today's stories.
Hey RedditRev listeners, I've got a great story for you today about betrayal and love conquering all. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. Title: My Painful Journey to Healing, How the Power of Love Prevailed After a Terrible Mistake. Next month, my wife and I will celebrate our 33rd wedding anniversary. Despite the usual ups and downs that come with any long-term relationship, we have always had a loving and normal marriage. We never go to bed angry, and we consider each other to be our best friends. I am a hopeless romantic. My partner is not very expressive about being romantic, but enjoys it when I am. I often do romantic things like sending love letters, texts, or emails, and planning surprise date nights for us to have fun together. We recently had a great time at a couples cooking class. We usually have sex each week on Saturdays and Sundays, and our home is a happy place with no complaints from either of us. To provide some context, I grew up with a single mother who kept the identity of my biological father a secret from me. My mother took this secret with her when she passed away. My wife and children have always been curious about my father's identity. For my birthday this year, one of my children gifted me an ancestry DNA test in hopes of uncovering some information about my biological father. Prior to taking the test, all my children opted to take one as well, since their bloodline is also connected to my unknown father. When we received our test results, they were unusual. It turns out my two oldest children are not biologically mine. We each received our results separately, but the kids had discussed them with each other before sharing them with us. As a result, they asked if we could have a family dinner, and they all came over. Dinner went well, but they wanted to have a serious conversation with us. Then, the bombshell. They said they compared results and that the two oldest children are not my kids. The youngest is. They asked if we had anything to tell them. I said of course not. There had to be a mistake. I looked over at my wife and knew in an instant there was no mistake. She had a look of terror on her face like I've never seen before. At once, this calm, level-headed, wonderful woman I have been married to for 33 years screamed out some kind of gibberish, then ran for the bedroom and locked the door. We attempted to persuade her to join us. However, our efforts were unsuccessful, causing us to panic. She communicated via text message, requesting that we refrain from contacting her for a couple of hours to allow her to gather herself before reuniting at the table. Though we were abided by her wishes, the waiting period felt indeterminable, and my mind was racing with questions. I still couldn't fathom how this could be true. Obviously, the children were mine. Who else could they belong to? My wife and I were not the sort of individuals who enjoy partying or swinging. We prefer wholesome entertainment like Disney, not racy shows like those featured on Cinemax or HBO. At around the 2-hour mark, she emerged and requested the kids to leave, explaining that she needed to talk to me alone. She assured them that she would let them know what was happening as soon as possible. Though they protested, they eventually relented and left, promising to return if they don't hear from her soon. At that moment, I was amazed and bewildered as if I was watching a movie, except I was a part of it. She told me something that significantly impacted me. Although I don't wish it to be permanent, it feels like it is. She looked directly into my eyes and confessed, "My name, many years ago, I had an affair with blank, one of our neighbors and friends from the same social circle we shared. It went on for approximately 4 years until I came to my senses and realized how amazing my husband was. I knew I had to mature and stop behaving foolishly." She placed her hands on my face, pulled me towards her, and maintaining eye contact. She expressed her feelings by saying, "You mean everything to me. I'm committed to you for life. I deeply love you. Some years ago, I made an incredibly foolish and selfish decision. You had no fault in it. You've been the greatest husband anyone could ask for, and I hope that we can focus on the bigger picture and appreciate the wonderful life we have created together. I don't want this mistake to ruin our relationship." After realizing how foolish she was being, she promised to comply with my requests, answer any questions, and even leave if I asked. She also kept reassuring me that I am everything to her and that she hasn't considered cheating on me since the end of her affair. The man she had an affair with has passed away. Although they didn't love each other, they believed that being unfaithful to their spouses would improve their marriages. What is heartbreaking is that my daughters are not biologically mine, which also upsets them. The person is struggling with the fact that the man they thought was their father is not their biological father. They want to learn more about their biological father, but it hurts the person who raised them. The person's wife also did not know for sure until the DNA test. However, the children love their dad who raised them and considers them to be their true father. It is devastating to me that the woman I admired and respected the most, who has loved and honored me for decades, was having an affair for years. I am devastated by the thought that my entire adult life and marriage may have been a lie. Despite my wife's infidelity, she has been an amazing partner and I have no complaints about our marriage. What makes it worse is that the man she cheated on me with died of cancer a few years ago and I am unable to confront him directly. It is devastating to me that my wife had been having sexual relations with another man for years despite me being her first and only partner, or so I thought. Before her, I had a brief and sexual encounter with a former girlfriend in my teenage years. This news is very recent, and with our 33rd anniversary coming up next month, I'm unsure how to proceed. I asked her to leave, and she's staying with her sister and brother-in-law, and we're both heartbroken. How can I move past this? I have spoken to multiple people, and they all agree that my wife has been a great partner and parent. However, she made a serious mistake when she was young that's affecting me emotionally. While I understand logically that this should not ruin our relationship, I am struggling to accept it emotionally. I used to be content with my life. My family meant everything to me, and I was deeply in love with my wife and children. However, now I feel lost. I don't know if I can go back to feeling that way or if the discovery had permanently changed my life. I have no desire to live a different life than the one we had, as my family is the only thing that truly matters to me. Overall, I'm not very fond of the world except for my loved ones. I'm surviving. About 10 days ago, I requested my wife to return to me. Our 33rd anniversary is tomorrow, but we have been feeling like zombies lately. It's difficult for me to understand how to manage these emotions. At present, I am not receiving any counseling or advice. While I have talked to some individuals, I don't have a trusted best friend to confide in. My wife has been the person I confide in for the last 33 years. My relationship with my daughters has changed. Although we constantly express our love and affirm that I am still their dad, it seems like we are all trying to convince ourselves of this reality. The dynamic between us is different now, and I am unsure if it can ever go back to how it was. Additionally, I know that I have changed, and I will never be the same again. I am frustrated that my wife's secret was revealed through an ancestry DNA test. She and her sister were the only ones who knew about it for decades, and my wife wanted to take it to her grave. She now realizes the mistake she made and how it was immature and selfish. My wife was spoiled when we first met because she was the youngest child in the family and a daddy's girl. We informed the other man's family that they are his blood relatives, and they were shocked to hear about it. My daughters have also met their half-siblings whom they never knew about. Even though my children show me love and appreciation, it's different as they're not my biological children. I rejected many jobs with higher pay as they required me to travel for 25 to 50% of the time. Although we were not wealthy, we managed to pay our bills and spend a lot of time together as a family. Spending time with my family was/is important to me, which is why I made that decision. However, it saddens me that the family I valued so much was not entirely honest. My wife has offered to help in any way she can, including researching how to heal the family and seeking therapy to cope with her guilt and shame. She is finding it difficult to face our children, who held her in high esteem, and the pain of remorse is visible. She is struggling not only with the consequences of being caught, but with the burden of knowing how her actions have affected us. We have begun discussing the affair, and it is a difficult conversation because we both became emotional. We were married at a young age of 19 years old and had our first child at 21. We became husband and wife and parents at a very young age, and that became who we were. She was always an excellent mother and wife. However, she admits that she was quite spoiled, selfish, and had a sense of entitlement. She also resented the fact that she had to settle down at 21 while her friends were still out having fun and meeting new people. She felt like she missed out on something by marrying me at a young age, but she doesn't regret it because she loves me deeply and didn't want to lose me. She also clarified that neither she nor the other person ever discussed leaving their families to be together. They provided solace for each other for their monotonous family life. She admits that her words may lack sincerity and that she always did something terrible, but if I'm going to consider anything, I need to understand that her heart has always been with me and will always remain with me. She expressed that she doesn't regret choosing to be my spouse and raising our children as it has brought her immense happiness. However, she also mentioned that she can't simply make things better, and if she could go back in time, she would advise her younger self not to make the grave mistake. She believes that what may seem innocuous at the moment may result in ruining her life later on. She admits that what she did was a terrible mistake, fully takes the blame for it, and acknowledges the pain it caused our family. She understands if I can't continue to be married to her because of it, but still loves me dearly and wants the best for me no matter what. During her stay with her sister, they had some meaningful conversations. Her sister told her that she was a spoiled brat previously, but has since grown into a wonderful woman. Her sister advised her to be completely honest about everything and to throw herself on the mercy of the court, which she has been doing. I feel like people around me, including my wife and children, are treating me with excessive sympathy as if I had been diagnosed with a terminal illness. Although I understand their concern, I find it bothersome as I don't know how to react to their behavior. Yesterday, my wife asked me if I wanted to celebrate our anniversary. She suggested doing something nice for me if I was willing, but also respected if I didn't want to celebrate. I reassured her and said that we were definitely going to our favorite Mexican restaurant as per our tradition of many years. Despite the new challenges we face, we managed to reach 33 years together, and we are determined to handle any new obstacles that come our way. Lately, she has been frequently bursting into tears and sobbing uncontrollably, even though her sister advised her to stop. She did briefly smile before the outburst. After spending some time thinking about this situation and looking at it from different perspectives and considering all the details, I have come to the conclusion that what she did years ago was a thoughtless, self-centered, and hurtful thing to do. Her actions have caused me immense pain and heartbreak. However, I believe that healing is possible and that life is a mix of joy and sorrow. Although this is a time of great pain, I will remain strong and committed to my course of action, having examined the situation thoroughly. Tomorrow night, I plan to express my gratitude to my wife for being an exceptional partner and mother. I'll remind her that since meeting her at 17, my affection has belonged solely to her. I feel blessed to have her as my wife, and I thank God for her every day. Tomorrow night, I plan to tell my wife that despite the foolish thing that happened, I forgive her. She has been an amazing wife and mother, and I appreciate her greatly. We will console each other and then go out for dinner, maybe even watch the new version of A Star is Born. This way we can have a great anniversary celebration. For 33 years, my wife and I have loved, honored, and cherished each other. I'll continue to love my children just as I have since the day they were born. As the head of the family, I'll support anyone who needs to talk or cry about what happened, but I won't bring it up again. Although I can't change the past, we will get through it together and won't let it tear us apart. I feel strange admitting this at 51, but I believe we have matured due to this upsetting experience. I sympathize with those who have gone through similar situations because it's painful. Although I'm not the best person to give advice, I suggest that you stay resilient and not let it wreck you as I nearly did at the start. Be strong, and I wish you the best of luck. I hope you all enjoyed this story, and if you did, please like and subscribe to RedditRev.
I hope you enjoyed our video. It's always a pleasure creating these stories, and if you liked what you saw, please take the time to show your support by giving it a thumbs up and subscribing if you haven't already done so. Sharing with your friends is also greatly appreciated. Let me know in the comments section below what you think of our videos. I'm all ears. Be sure to check back soon for more original Reddit stories every day on RedditRev. Until then, stay awesome, my friend.